Bleeding Purple Podcast. Deep Brown steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side. Caught by Nick. Stay on. Oh my God. 40. No. 10. Are you kidding me? It's the Minneapolis. No way. Step on Diggs. And the Minnesota Vikings have walked off on the New Orleans Saints. It's a 61-yard Minneapolis miracle. I can't believe what I just saw. What an unbelievable play.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to Bleeding Purple, a podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler Haig. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Adam Patrick. Hello, good sir.
So,
A lot of news to cover this week. First, let's start with the latest, I guess, free agent signing. I don't know if it's technically latest anymore, but wide receiver, Mr.
It is.
Kendall Wright. Is it still? Okay, good. Kendall Wright played for Chicago last year. Who Tennessee before that, if I'm not mistaken.
he was drafted by the
Drafted by
Titans,
Tennessee. Okay.
first round.
He's only 28 years old.
Mhm.
What else are we seeing about? He seems like kind of he fits the mold of the Diggs Thielen kind of like that type of wide receiver as opposed to, you know,
He's a little,
like
he's smaller than Thielen.
is he okay? What else do
Little
we
small-
know about
smaller
him?
than
I
Diggs.
guess is my real question.
He's last year he primarily played in the slot, so it's probably where he's going to be this year. But that doesn't mean that Thielen or Diggs won't go in the slot either, because they like to move everyone around and make it difficult for the defenses to try and stop them. But when Wright's on the field, they'll probably put him in the slot. He's really good at catching the ball. Like, that's no other way to say it, but I think he only missed like 10 of his targets last year of the balls that were thrown at him. So that's pretty good catch percentage. And then he led the Bears in receptions and receiving yards last year. I know it's the Bears, but it's still pretty good to lead an NFL team in
It is.
those categories.
To be the obviously like the most featured like receiving weapon on that team. It's an NFL team. That's a big deal. Do you think that they could possibly? I'm seeing some like flexibility options here from an offense and from the Vikings wide receiver standpoint, because they are going to move. Diggs is going to be able to go into the slot. Wright is going to be able to go outside, and Thielen's going to be. They're kind of going to be all over. Where do you think this leaves Laquan Treadwell? Do you think he's just like out? Is there just like no room for him, basically?
I'd be very surprised if he's still with the team after the draft.
Okay. Do you think they're gonna? So yeah, they'd have to move him or cut him, or do you think?
I think they'll look to move him. I don't know if they'll be successful, but there's a bunch of teams out there that could use receivers. The Panthers, for one, and the old buddy Norv Turner down there.
Oh God, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Another.
The Patriots are always looking for receivers.
I don't like that. Because then he'll be good. In Carolina, he'll be bad. In New England, he'll be good. I feel like that's also what an easy selling point is there's so much upside. Because nobody's seen any. There's like no tape on dude. So, or at the NFL level anyways. So you got to be able to, you'd think they'd be able to move him if they were willing to do so.
Yeah, and the Vikings don't have a fourth round pick yet in this year's draft. So that might be something they go and try and get and offer Treadwell, because what's the difference between him right now and drafting someone?
There is no difference besides like possible upside.
People were like, oh, he was open last year, but he was really only on the field for blocking, and like he's a wide receiver. That's not the only reason he's on the field.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
They didn't draft him in the first round to be a blocker.
Exactly. That's the problem, and it's not necessarily fair to him. So I feel kind of bad. It's that he didn't draft himself in the first round.
He's got plenty of potential still.
And you can see it. There are flashes of it. Yeah, the super sweet one-handed catch but you can't find snaps. How?
His fit right now in the Vikings offense with Diggs and Thielen, and now with Kendall Wright, like it looks like they're trying to go like smaller and quicker.
Yes. and he's not that.
and rely on receivers to get open as quick as possible, and that's not going to be the case with Treadwell. He's struggled with that his whole career, getting separation. He's more of like kind of like a post up kind of guy, where he's good in the red zone on jump balls and stuff like that. But
use his big frame to shield the defender from the ball. And catch.
But things like slants and curls and stuff, those are not his bread and butter.
No, which was like the majority of kind of what they were running, like slants and quick hitting.
DiFilippo ran a West Coast offense with the Browns, so that's probably going to be something similar that they're going to run with the Vikings.
Wow, surprise after the draft. Interesting.
But then again, maybe they find a way to use him, because I think DiFilippo wants to try and figure out a role for every player on that offense. He's got a lot of tools to use, so maybe they will be able to figure out maybe a specific role, maybe for him on like third down or when they are on the red zone. Maybe it'll be the weapon or something like that.
Yeah, the problem though is you get into that when the training camp and all that starts to kick around, then you get into that roster numbers crunch, and you wind up holding a roster spot for a guy who can only be on the field in that right scenario, And do you want a guy taking up a roster spot when literally the only thing he can do is like post up in the end zone? When you have a Kyle Rudolph, when you have these other wide receivers, it's just so hard for me to envision Treadwell just seeing the field if he's even on the team at that point. This signing just screams by Treadwell. Sorry, dude.
We're also depending on everyone staying healthy too. So someone can get hurt next year, and then Treadwell gets his opportunity to shine. So that could be something they're thinking about too, because they were pretty lucky last year with injuries on the whole team.
They were,
minus quarterback, but
that's a great point.
That usually doesn't happen 2 years in a row. But it'll be different. They got a new strength coach last year. He could be better than the guy that everyone tore their pecs with a couple years before.
God, I forgot that was a thing. What else? Other re-signings. Marcus Sherels is going to be back as a Viking. How do you feel about that? Yeah, I don't know. I like it. He's productive. I like having him around. He is one of my favorite dudes. I would have understood them not wanting to, pay him, but I'm glad it worked out. He's productive. How do you feel about it?
He's very productive. One of the best things about him is that he doesn't fumble. So that's really good, especially in punt returns.
Very important. Yes.
When you don't want to give the other team a short field, he's good at and he knows when and when not to fair catch.
Yes.
When to just run away from the ball and stuff like that. So it's good. I don't really think he ever wants to go anywhere else, but I think the Vikings are always like, oh well, there might be somebody else out there, but then they're like, nah, I'll just bring.
I was just gonna say that poor guy has been like the last guy to make and has been the last guy to make the roster every year. He's like, oh, Willie, okay, he's here, yeah, and then the guy's been here for like 6 years already.
Runs back and punt for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I like him a lot. He's another one that gets into that roster crunch where it's like you wind up keeping a spot. Could you get a similar amount of productivity from somebody who can also be a viable rotational player as a secondary player, and I guess special teams, but that's what he does. That's his whole gig is special teams,
But that fumbling thing is I think it's a lot bigger than some people realize.
It is. It's so important. It's so important because it just kills momentum and kills your team, and in the wrong situation, can totally lose you a game. And you can say a lot about Marcus Sherels, but he doesn't do that. He will not lose you a game, and that is, like you said, that's underrated. That's important. Thumbs up to the Marcus Sherels signing. Terrence Newman, is Terrence Newman going to come back?
Sounds like they're trying to get him back. They just don't. It doesn't sound like they want him to pay him a bunch of money. Like I think he made around $3 million last year. It doesn't sound like they even want to give him that.
Yeah.
Which he's going to be 40 this year. He was good last year. He wasn't amazing. He played nickel a lot, so he did pretty well for never. I don't think he's ever really played that position for the most part in the season before. He did pretty good, but I think they want to move on to maybe Mackenzie Alexander or somebody in the draft or somebody like that.
Yep.
So, but and being that he's 40, it sounds like he's still weighing in between, retiring or coming back. I think he said he wants to come back and play, but the money's got to be right too.
Yeah. I would like to see him back because I don't know. At this point, I trust him more than Mackenzie Alexander. But everybody seems to trust Mackenzie Alexander is going to take a step up.
He's good for like the young guys in the defensive backfield, and if they go to the Super Bowl, I want to see him win the Super Bowl because he's never won one. He's been in the league forever, and he hasn't even sniffed a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So.
And there's got to be something to say about having a guy who's been with the head coach and like main defensive dude for that long, Like there has to be some.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was on like the Vikings coaching staff the very next year.
Yeah, there's got to be something to say for that translation ability, I guess, for lack of a better term.
That might be his role. That might be kind of a role that they want him to be next year. Just primarily be like a teacher on the sidelines and play when they need him, rather than be a starter or something like that.
Yeah. All right, the biggest story of the week by a mile: the punter controversy.
Ooh, oh yeah, I saw your tweet. All caps.
All caps. That's right.
It's serious.
So Oakland releases what evidently everybody thinks is the best punter in the NFL in Mr. Marquette King.
He's good.
Well, judging by Vikings Twitter reaction, he's the greatest thing in the history of punting.
He's better than what they have now.
Oh, I respectfully disagree with that. I think I understand where you're coming from. Statistically speaking, there might be some support for your argument.
Okay.
There might be. There might be. However, last year, Quigley killed it. And in my opinion, and I think statistically, if I'm not mistaken, had a better year than King did. Although, total yards, yes, King had more. I
don't worry about total yards because that means that
just means you were punting from a long ways away. That's what I'm saying. Yes, and Quigley had, it was like more downs inside the 20, less touchbacks. Quigley's better. He's the long-term answer. Stop going after King.
Okay, I got a rebuttal then.
Okay.
Before last year, how many good years did Quigley have? And how many good years did Marquette King have?
Sometimes it takes a punter a few years to find it. And Quigley found it this past year. No, I hear what you're saying. I was so impressed with Quigley last year.
He did well
really well. And if we get, and that was my screamy tweet, was if we keep getting rid of everybody that has career years, Case Keenum, thanks bud, you killed it, career year, you're awesome, but we're gonna go a different direction. Ryan Quigley, career year, you were awesome, we're gonna go in a different direction.
The second guy on the list.
I'm just saying. If I'm a free agent, I noticed that.
I did see someone raise the point that a lot of his inside the 20 punts were like on the 17 or the 18-yard line, so they were just barely inside the 20. But still, and they could have been from like the 40 to the 20.
God, that is such a hollow argument. Inside the 20. Well, I mean, it was barely inside the 20. Come on, it was inside the 20 . That's his gig. That's the stat. It's not inside
the 10,
of. It's not. Yeah.
He didn't have a touchback until what? Like the playoffs? I feel like.
I think so. Yeah, I think his first one was in the Saints game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing. Incredible.
Which I just watched the highlights of again today, and I totally forgot how bad Case Keenum's interception was, and was like, "Oh my god!"
It's so
I shouted, like I was watching it live. I'm like, "Oh no!
What are you doing?"
Yeah, like I know how this ends, but
yes,
what was that? It's horrible. He just chucked the ball up in the air for like anyone to get.
Yep.
And that's why he's not there. I'm sorry for people who are like, he led them to the NFC Championship game. That throw is the exact reason why he's not there.
Yes. I agree with that 100% because he didn't always get himself in trouble with those throws, but he had one or two of those throws every game, and sometimes it was horrible interceptions that lost the game, and sometimes it was, just lightly
and in that
came
situation,
into Thielen's hands.
That specific situation, I think it was 17-7, and the Saints had just scored, and he just chucked the ball up for them to get another short field,
and then they score, and then the next time they score, it was the block punt after that, and the wheels were falling off. That was a terrible. I honest to God, I get nervous just thinking about it because I was so tensed up. But then I remember the end of that game
and then I realized at the end, Joe Buck was like, "And thanks to Case Keenum, the Vikings are going to the NFC." I'm like, what? Thanks to Case Keenum, he threw the ball.
Talking about? What about the guy who spun around and scored the touchdown and didn't fall over?
Yeah.
I think that was more impressive. Oh God, that's like saying like a pitcher throws a no-hitter and Joe Buck is like, that catcher did a great job. Yeah, exactly. What a game called by the catcher.
I wouldn't be surprised if he said that. So.
It wouldn't it wouldn't shock me. God, baseball season, it's here. And
Padres 0-3.
Yeah, that's too bad. Oh, the Padres, I forget about that. The Twins were like that not very long ago.
They play in a good stadium.
Yeah. I never had a problem with the Twins losing. I used to work downtown Minneapolis, and I loved it because by week 3, everybody was over it because they were already out of contention, and there was no...
Seats are super cheap.
Yeah, super cheap. I could just get done with work, walk down, grab a ticket off of somebody for like $5, walk in, couple beers, no big deal.
There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. What else?
Well, if the Vikings wanted to get Marquette King, you would not approve of that.
I'm not saying I wouldn't approve of that.
I honestly think they should keep Quigley just because of the price. Because I'm pretty sure Marquette King's not going to be cheap.
Thank you.
Even for a punter.
Yeah.
They don't need to be spending their extra money on a punter.
And it always feels like a weird, bad idea to either draft or sign as not a high-priced free agent, but to bring a guy in. Yeah, it feels like a bad idea to do that. Because then there's the added pressure, and those guys are it's already a pressure cooker for those.
I'm not sure if the Vikings will ever draft a punter or a kicker again after Blair Walsh and Jeff Locke.
I don't think they should have. Well, Blair Walsh was stupid because Blair Walsh was trash in his senior season at Georgia too. So they should. What about that whole thing led you to believe that he wasn't going to miss a 28-yard field goal in a playoff game for you? They deserve that. I mean, long term talk, I think he looked
like a great pick in his first year. But.
Oh yeah, he did too. Those 50 yards. See, the Vikings, man, that's how they do it. Is they lull you into thinking they made a good move, and then kaboom. That huge part of the reason this King thing just doesn't feel right to me. It just feels like we'll have King. It's gonna be like a 5-year deal. He'll be great for his first year, and then the next 4 seasons he's gonna be garbage. They wouldn't sign him to a 5-year deal, but. So I guess now question. That's the question. Could you imagine being like, "We love you, Kirk, but we got to go 5 with Mr. King here."
No, actually, I think Kirk Cousins wanted a 3-year deal. Actually.
Yeah, wasn't that his? Yeah. So the big question: Quigley or King? What's your call? Which one do you go with? You're the GM. It's up to you.
I like Marquette King. He's good, but I think Quigley. There's no reason to get away from Quigley after what he did last year and the price that he is at right now. I think he only has 1 year left on his contract anyway. So
I go Quigley.
It's not like punters are that hard to find.
Well, and you don't need an exceptional punter to. You're not going to be like, God, we would have been to this. We could have gone to the Super Bowl if it weren't for that punter.
There's some good punters, but
yeah, they can be a weapon for sure. But I think Quigley is I think he's good enough to do that. I would
back in the day, Mitch Berger, he was a
weapon,
great punter for the Vikings.
Yeah, I feel like King would be more fun to have on the team. I feel like I would like watching him. I would like it better if he was a Viking, but.
They're having fun guys now.
Do you think that's why John Gruden, he met him and was like, that ain't going to work as the punter. You have too much fun and are too loud, and that's not what my punter's going to
Gruden probably wants to make sure he's the center of attention. He doesn't want anyone else on his team to overshadow that.
Quick side, like, non-Vikings thing. John Gruden in the moves that, what is he doing? Bringing in a number of old players and
Jordy Nelson.
What are you doing?
What else did he sign? Was the running back he signed?
Jordy Nelson.
Marshawn Lynch is coming back.
I like Marshawn Lynch. I think he'll be fine. But there were a couple of them that were older dudes.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, man. I thought that he was going to come back and...
I think he would have learned stuff by like being out for so long, and
he
not
interviewed
like,
like every coaching staff. He got ideas from other sources. Just stuck with the thing that he was going to do.
He could be outsmarting everybody, but probably not.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he could. See, I feel like we're entering...
With that haircut, though, it's kind of hard to believe.
Oh, so hard to believe. Yeah, if he hasn't changed his haircut after all these years, he definitely ain't changing the way he coaches football.
Have you seen his son before? You ever looked up?
Yeah, the bodybuilder guy?
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And like that, only with a Gruden brain? Oof, that's terrifying.
He's the Raiders' new like strength coach or assistant strength coach or something like that.
That makes sense.
So they might have some PED suspensions.
For real. You go to Raiders like facility, it's just guys fighting and bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. Old school Raiders. You know.
Yeah, the real Raiders.
Bill Romanowski. Well, even Bill Romanowski, he was there for a little bit.
Oh, Romo, that guy. I had a really good question that I was going to ask, and now I can't remember what it was. It was about John Gruden. I don't know. That's bad podcasting tonight.
You got what, a 10-year contract?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. 10 years. Well, and that's been, if you're looking for a little bit of fun on Twitter, go hang out, mingle in Oakland Raider Twitter world right now. It is a blast. People are having a very difficult time with the moves because they're so excited because John Gruden's back. But then these are all the moves that he's making, so they're like
10 years of this?
What are you doing? Yeah, that's been basically, it's like, it's cool, you guys, only 9 more off seasons of Mr. John Gruden.
They'll figure it out eventually.
Oh, God, terrifying. Speaking of Grudens, Jay Gruden says they definitely got an upgrade at quarterback by signing, trading for Alex Smith. They traded for Alex Smith, right? Yeah.
Yep. Too much.
AKA, he's better than Cousins. He thinks upgrade over Cousins.
He has to say that.
Kind of his gig, right? As the coach, it's kind of, you have to defend.
He'd be like, well, we wanted Cousins, but we got Alex Smith. So
talent-wise, we preferred him, but he couldn't stand anybody in this place, so we had to get rid of him. It's not what you say.
Yeah. I don't know if he truly believes that himself, but yeah, I guess that's the Redskins have. It seems like they've been trying to throw Kirk Cousins under the bus as much as possible ever since it seemed like he was leaving.
Yeah,
like they're everyone from their front office to their old GM to like even like the radio analysis analysts or whatever. Like everyone's just like, oh well, he's okay. He's a product of the offense and stuff like that. Well, I don't think so because he had 3 different offensive coordinators. So.
And it's like I don't like using this term a lot, but there's a lot of butt hurt going on with Kirk Cousins and Washington, and you can see a lot of Washington trying to. If Kirk Cousins was a different dude, more arrogant, like a more prototypical NFL.
I don't know if they would say this stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's so strange to me that they're trying to.
Because they know that he probably won't respond. So.
Yeah, he's garbage. Like, this is all blah, blah, blah. And he's just taking the high road. He's a better man for it than I am because I would not be able to do that. I would be snapping off. I would have my, Players Tribune article about the disaster that is the, Washington Redskins franchise. That would have come out the day after my contract was signed.
He can just be like, hey, guys, look at this contract I just signed. It's for $84 million guaranteed. How are you guys doing? Want to go out to lunch?
You like that? I gotta get a soundbar with that on it pretty quick here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Careful though. You might get a cease and desist.
Oh yeah, good call.
Hold on a second. It's trademarked.
Yeah, good call. It is. Oh
That's
yeah, he did, didn't he? Oh Lord. What?
Nice
Oh yes, this is actually, here's maybe the real, instead of the like fake real big news. The real big news is the new rule, the helmet rule with the possible ejection.
Yeah. Even if you don't get a flag.
Kind of difficult to figure out how this is going to affect the games going forward because they don't even have like a definition of the rule yet. Like they basically just have the like idea of this rule and not the like actual wording of it yet.
I think it's like the lowering or like initiating contact by like the lowering of the head.
Yes.
People will keep saying like it's with the crown of the helmet, but I haven't seen anything with the rule mentioning that part.
Crown, yes, just
been
lowering.
The lowering of the head. And I mentioned like the Anthony Barr hit on Aaron Rodgers last year, and everyone's like, "No, that was clean. He led with his shoulder." But if you watch it in slow motion, his head hits first.
Yeah.
And my point wasn't saying like that is an example of one of these hits. It was this hit could easily be called next year because it's a bang bang play and refs don't. It doesn't sound like they're going to get replay to look at these calls, and it was on Aaron Rodgers, so,
which is ridiculous to me that they're not going to do replay on it.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense. But to me the big thing is that the first thing that's initiating contact is going to be the helmet, and so like on quarterback
so how do you
sneak,
tackle?
Yeah, well that's what I was going to say. Quarterback sneak, you could eject the quarterback on every quarterback sneak because that's his hands are down here, and the first thing that's going to be hitting is his head, which now according to this rule,
the ball out.
Yeah, which I mean, you better survive the ground with that because not anymore. But you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I mean, these rules are so goofy and the interpretations are so weird. Part of me wonders if this is going to be the new debacle, if this is the new catch rule that we're going to be so frustrated by. And it's going to be worse in the preseason, obviously, before the season starts. So we have to, when that's going on, let's not freak out about how terrible it is because it's not going to be that way during the season. But
I think it could be.
I was going to say, depending on the interpretation of this rule, it could be a huge issue. It could totally ruin the flow of games.
Yeah, it depends on like how many refs, because most of these refs have been referees for a while. How many of them want to call this all the time and deal with all that stuff?
That's the other thing I keep hearing is if this is the way the rule is going to be written, then it could be called literally every play. It would be like a holding or where you would just be choosing the most egregious of the.
That was my main point with like the Anthony Barr thing. Like just because it's not an illegal hit doesn't mean it won't be called because it could look like that easily.
Yeah.
If somebody does that to Tom Brady, that's easily
exactly. Well, and I think we're getting to the point now where I'm almost ready for them to just call a spade and be like, if it looks too violent, we're going to throw a flag. Like no rules, no nothing, no stipulation, nothing. Like that just looked too violent, flag.
Which is dumb because this is.
I agree. It's football.
This is football.
Tackle football.
I understand them wanting to make it safer, but it's really hard to make it safer when the whole game like revolves around hitting your opponent.
Yes.
If you don't want to do that, then just play catch. Like I'm not saying like, oh, this is stupid, like back in my day, all that stuff. But like this is football. Like this is part of the main part of the game.
It is. It is.
Hit people. Like you can't tell UFC fighters, oh, you can't kick or punch people. You just have to. You can only submission. You can only do submission.
Great way to look at it because that's you don't think about UFC fighters and go, oh, CTE, man, that's terrible for them. Yeah, it's like no, because of course that's what's happening, but they know it and they're signing up for it, and that's what's happening. It's
they don't even wear helmets.
That's what I'm saying, and they're getting kicked in the head. And these guys, yeah. So I don't know. It's hitting a point now where it just feels like.
Like I understand you're trying to make it safer.
Yes.
Like, and I even heard like they might get rid of kickoffs too. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Just play 7-on-7 soon? Just like everyone start at the 30?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, and that's the thing is, if your goal is to take out every violent football play from the NFL, you won't have any more plays. It will be like the Pro Bowl field goals. Those are the only non-violent plays in the NFL.
It'll be like the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. And that sounds awful to me. To watch 16 weeks of that sounds absolutely terrible. Oh, it scares me because I don't want these games decided by this. But yes, that's exactly right. I feel like this happens every season, and every season it doesn't ruin football. Yeah,
so. It's a little slow period. You know, like people freaked out about the replay on something last year or whatever. And the catch rule, though, I think is a little better. Now, I don't know how much better it will be because they fixed that. They fixed,
yeah.
Chris Farley quotes. They fixed that. So I think I saw someone said, "You like that?"
Yeah, that one got me. Sorry.
I think I saw someone said that the Thielen catch probably would be the one where in Carolina where he was bobbling it, even though he had 2 feet in bounds or whatever. That would be a catch.
I feel like
I think his back hit the ground and he was bobbling it.
Yeah.
So that would be a catch still.
I don't know. It's just so hard. Yeah. It's so hard to do it with. I actually saw John Gruden said he wanted to do away with all instant replay and just let the call be the call and have it all happen. Of course he does. Now that I'm not up there anymore. No more.
Wants to go back to pen and paper.
Yeah.
Actually, Mike Zimmer, he said that they were like, because at the owners' meetings or whatever, they were talking about, possibly they're not allowed to have video on the sidelines.
Yes, I did.
And Mike Zimmer was like, yeah, I don't think I like that because that like takes away from the coaching. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Just then, if everyone can do it, then how does it take it away? It gives you all the same advantage.
Well, the way he kind of. What I took from it was he was saying that if I'm looking at a piece of paper and watching the game and I can recognize what's happening, but you can't until you see it on video, that would be an advantage for you because I can recognize it right now watching the game and you can't. So if you get video for that and I get video, I've already now it's taking my advantage away. Then that's where he was like, being a good coach kind of goes out the window because you could just watch the video. And that was where the statement I was like, I don't know.
Well, then find a different way to have an advantage.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like, get off my lawn, dude. Like, it's
video.
Man, come on.
Like, it's going to happen eventually.
Of course it is. That's the other thing is like, do you see what it's not paper anymore, man? It's a tablet on the sidelines that you're looking at. You don't think that was going to be video at some point?
I was surprised to find out that they weren't looking at video. I thought they were looking at video the whole time. But apparently
some of those
rules are
some of those rules are so goofy and antiquated, and also the like headset situations. Like, oh, he's going out. There's always issues with that. I'm like,
how does that happen?
Yeah, got the
internet
for real.
$1 billion business.
For real. Yes, that's exactly what it is. You're a $1 billion company and you're using walkie-talkies on the sideline. Figure out a way. Like, we got the internet. There's like stuff goes to space and comes back for phone. But you are walkie-talkieing in a stadium. Come on. You're better than this. But that's the same thing. You could do that. We're still marking the downs with an index card and chains and poles. We could. Don't even get me started on the like weird old things that we could change about football.
At least it's not baseball.
Yeah, it's.
Apparently, I found out yesterday you can't bunt when there's a one-hitter.
Nope, you can't. Not late in the game, and when you're up by 7, it's so ridiculous. It's the whole thing. Actually, Dan Barrero on K-Fan today had a really, really good rant on how stupid the unwritten rules of baseball are. Or how, not stupid, but what did he it was like ridiculous? A pompous. Yeah, where it's like you're so full of yourself, baseball, that it's like, no, you don't even get to lose the way you want to lose. We tell you what's okay for, And the other part is that, and if you don't do it right, you're going to get a baseball in your ear, which is just like, seems so unfair to me.
100 miles an hour.
And not only that, but the Twins were shifting while that happened. So he laid down a bunt because there was nobody on that side of the field because they were all shifted to where he.
It was a smart play.
Yes, it was a strategic, like, if you're going to do that, I'm going to do this.
What was the score?
It was like 7-0 or 7-1 or 8-1 or so. It was like an 7 or 8 run lead.
Just trying to get on base.
Yeah. Yes. Which is like trying to win the game. He's trying to be
competitive. That's the object of the game, isn't it?
Totally. And that's what's in that. It was kind of what Barrero said today. He was like, so he can't do that, but if he doesn't run a ground ball out to first fast, then you'll yell at him for not hustling and like not doing baseball right. You know, it's like that. You can't have it both ways. I don't know. Baseball's ridiculous. I'm glad I'm not super into baseball. I don't know, but here we are talking about an NFL rule about ducking your head and how that's going to. So I don't know. Are we better? I don't know if we are. I mean, maybe a little.
It's more advanced. More advanced. I'd say.
Yeah, definitely more technologically advanced. I would say that.
Yeah.
Than baseball, because
all the fields, every field is the same dimension.
Mm-hmm. Which is important. Yeah, I think important. Okay, what else do we have? We could talk about Andy Reid saying that he'd lose a pinky toe to.
I wanted to talk and ask you. Finish what he said.
Andy Reid said that he would give his pinky toe for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, like, what limb would you give up for the Vikings to win a Super Bowl?
For the Vikings to win a Super Bowl. Well, I definitely, pinky toe is fine. I would be totally okay with getting rid of a pinky toe. I know a number of people whose pinky toe doesn't even touch the ground. So it's like it can't be that important.
It's disgusting.
It is really weird. He's a great friend of mine, but it's very strange. But his pinky toe doesn't touch the ground.
Yeah, like, what's the biggest?
I don't know if I'd go any of the big four, arms or legs. That would be tough.
The big four.
That's what But I don't know if I would do any of those, because that's a huge life change, trying to learn how to operate with just, with
like,
one less.
Would you, like, permanently shave your eyebrows?
My eyebrows are very prominent, so I don't think I would do that. I would
do that because I have red hair, so I really don't have any eyebrows anymore.
I would cut off an ear. I'd cut off an ear.
Really?
Yep, I would.
You'd Van Gogh it.
I would, yeah. And because then people were like, "What's up with your ear?" I'd be like, for the Vikings Super Bowl. I said I would.
Oh, you're one.
Oh, well, thanks for that, man. I'd be like, "You're very welcome." Like,
yeah, well, you can always get like a classic ear.
Yeah, well, and I wear a hat a lot of times. Maybe that would look weird with no ear on the one side. Maybe I would have to get one. I don't know. Maybe they got to make prosthetic ears, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd lose an ear for it.
You probably like 3D print an ear by now.
Yeah, good call. I could probably do that at my house if I wanted to.
I think I'd only give up like a finger.
Yeah, I think I would be fine with a digit. Like fingers and toes, I could part with. I would be okay with that.
Just one though. Like I don't need any more to give up anymore after one Super Bowl. If they win more, that's fine.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I was gonna say. So that's just for the first.
I don't need to give up anything.
A second for that. Yeah,
one's good.
Yeah,
that's all I need.
So, quick side question: if they could win, it had to be 1-for-1. 10 Super Bowls. What would your maximum? Would one be your maximum amount of lost fingers and toes? For if everyone had equal to Super Bowl win.
If every extremity.
Yeah. So the Vikings win 3 Super Bowls, you have to lose three fingers. One would be good.
One's good.
I'd probably do 2. If I could do 1 finger and 1 toe, 2 for sure.
You could do like 2 fingers on each hand, so that way they're even.
Yeah, you're right, and that would
one on each hand.
Yeah, that would be better too for just for pictures and stuff. So
yeah, for like winter gloves and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then because you want to be able to match them up. God, why can't I think of
a mitten and then a glove?
Yeah, I mean nobody wants that. Actually,
and if you wear fingerless gloves, they have fingerless.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of insensitive to buy that for somebody who cut their fingers off. That was real good stuff. Pinky toe. I really wanted to. I thought for sure we were going to get the Lebowski. You want a pinky toe? I'll get you a pinky toe this afternoon. You know that quote, but just never really happened in that that little segment there.
I have a question. I've never seen that full movie.
Oh my gosh!
I've seen clips of it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of unavoidable at this point. Interesting.
I feel like it's a little older.
Yeah, I mean,
for Ari, but
it is.
Like it came out when I was like 10 or younger. I feel like.
Yeah, well, it takes place in like the early '90s too. So that can kind of skew.
I just remember John Goodman was still fat in it. So
Yeah, yes, he was.
that
Has been really unsettling for me, the Roseanne stuff, where it's like, who is the guy wearing John Goodman's skin? 'Cause that's terrifying. And where did the rest of
Save
him
that
go?
for
But
the
I mean,
Roseanne
good for him. Yeah, but yeah, interesting. So let me ask you this now, real quick. So you haven't seen The Big Lebowski. Usually, when people haven't seen those, like, there's like a cult group of movies that everybody like seems to demand everyone have seen. How many of those have you not seen? Like
like Clerks.
Yeah, Clerks, Lebowski, some other ones, but yeah, basically any early
Pulp
Kevin
Fiction.
Smith. But you get Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs.
I might have not seen any of those.
Are you kidding me? Really?
More of a like
Oh,
Mighty
man.
Ducks.
Got you. Sandlot. Okay, I'm with you. Okay. Air Bud, we've discussed previously, so
Yeah.
I know that you're into that. Okay.
Power Rangers.
Interesting. Big Lebowski's worth a watch. I would say do that. Clerks, no. Clerks is not. It's funny, but it is so dated and so.
I like old movies, but I like old 80s movies.
Mm,
Like I like Back to the Future. Like I own all
Okay.
those.
got you. Okay.
Point Break.
That's a good one. You Bill and Ted's got Bill and Ted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This is good. We're learning a lot about, and the audience is learning about us too, which is important.
Yeah.
because I've done a lot of these episodes, and
I'll have some stuff. I'm going on a trip in a couple weeks back to New York, so I can have some movies to watch.
all right, there you go.
It'll be a long flight.
I would do Lebowski. Have you ever done Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Have you ever seen that one?
Clips.
Clips of it? Okay. That one I would check out. Similar glasses involved in both of those films, like yellow aviators.
Johnny Depp's in that.
Yep, he is. He's great. Hunter S. Thompson. That's a whole separate ordeal. We could get into that a little bit later.
I think we're good.
What else? Yeah, what else do we want to talk about? I got-
Draft's coming up. A couple weeks.
yeah, the prospect thing is happening.
Top 30 events happening this week, according to Doogie.
What else you got coming up on the Viking Age? Anything?
We'll have some. We started some draft slideshows previewing like a couple of prospects for each position group that the Vikings could look at. The first two people were really happy with because they didn't think that the Vikings should draft either of them. It was for a running back or a defensive tackle. But I'm putting it out for every position. So just wait and have some patience, and the position
there
you
will be
want.
other. Yep,
Come
there
on.
will be other ones too.
So I'll probably have like offensive line and cornerback coming out soon, just to make
Yeah.
people happy.
Just to light the
But
mentions
yeah, we're
up.
doing those, and then whatever happens, because it's kind of slow right now. But
Mhm.
I'm sure somebody will get arrested or something.
Totally.
On
There's
another
always
team.
something.
Oh.
Yeah. Not. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, one question: how is the Rams defense not going to be like
The greatest.
self-destructive next year with all those characters on there?
I was just
Like I understand it's a lot of talent,
tons of talent.
but a lot of those guys have been suspended before.
Doesn't this
And
feel
it wasn't for like PEDs. It was for stuff they did on the field.
Yes. Doesn't this feel like one of those 90s, early 2000s Redskins team where they're just throwing money at every position
Kind of.
and it's just like kind of going to boil
Oh,
over
Deion
and they're going to
Sanders.
finish like 8-8.
Probably good.
Yeah. We'll do that. Sounds great. Like,
Yeah, Hainsworth. Yeah, you can be good.
so many. Yeah. All kinds of.
They'll be good, but I do think there's going to be some friction.
Sometimes I
If
think
they get
that-
on a little losing streak, then it's
Yeah,
not
I was
gonna be
just going to say
good.
that the personality of a team is really important, and I think a lot of times underrated because of stuff like that, because you're going to hit a stretch during the season where you're not going to like each other. And that happens on every team, and some teams can kind of band together and get along and work together and do things well, and other teams start fighting with each other, like physically beating each other up. Rams are feeling like more of a beat each other up kind of a team.
And the Rams are interested in trading for Odell Beckham too. Come on.
Oh God, could you imagine if Odell Beckham goes to the Rams, just 24-hour surveillance and reality TV, it's the best show in the history of mankind. Yeah. Cancel this season, only the Rams play. It's like everybody else gets one game against the Rams. It's all on TV.
He's going anywhere anyways. The Giants would be incredibly dumb to.
It'd be so foolish to do that. But if they are, I could see him being frustrated enough to think about it. But there's no way you pull the trigger on a guy.
You don't trade a player like that.
No,
he's not a normal player. People probably won't like this, but he is like a Randy Moss kind of player.
Yeah, he is. He is a very, 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 very.
He changes the whole game when he's on the field.
Yes,
you have to plan for him.
I was just going to say that when you have a player who immediately changes the defensive game plan when he's in the game and when he's out of the game. That's what I mean. That's what we're talking about. That's a high end.
Vikings thought they could replace Randy Moss with Troy Williamson, and that worked out really well. So the Giants can do the same thing.
Troy Williamson. I wonder how old he is.
He got 3 touchdowns for the Vikings in his career. So that was good.
And that one off his face mask. Right off. That must have been a national game, too. Well, he had a bunch, but the one was like all by himself, middle of the field. I think nationally televised.
Yeah, I wrote something on Odell Beckham yesterday for the comeback and how the Giants would be dumb to trade him. And I was looking up stats on like Troy Williamson and Randy Moss because it's a similar kind of thing that the Vikings did, and the Giants should be like, oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Because Troy Williamson, I don't think he ever had more than 425 yards receiving.
Yeah, that's
and before that, Randy Moss had at least 1,000 yards receiving in like 6 of his first 7 years.
That was a first-round pick, Williamson.
Yeah.
Oh man, hoodalolly.
A lot of people got fired because of that.
But there's no way that New York, even if they get rid of Beckham, there's no way they put somebody in that is or put somebody in that is Troy Williamson bad.
You never
know. I mean, that's
hard to tell with the draft. Draft is hard to tell.
Who's their GM now? So because that would be the worst. I would feel so bad for Pat Shurmur if he goes over there. It's like, yay, New York, I'm the head coach, and then just kidding, we got rid of your best player, and you're going to be trash.
Dave Gettleman used to be with the Panthers.
Oh, right. Yep.
He has a history of trading players who are good. Or not resigning them or releasing them. Steve Smith being one of those.
Oh man!
But he's come out and said that those reports of Beckham being traded are ridiculous.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Even he's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I think I saw Peter King said they're looking for at least 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, so. Well, and I mean that's like, yeah. How much do you want for him? Gobbledydrillion dollars. You know, it's like it doesn't you're just throwing a number at him because it's never
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
If it happens, it'd be the dumbest thing the Giants have probably ever done.
Oh, it would be great. I would love it so much.
Oh, and one last thing. I did see Peter King said that Josh Allen is probably going to be the number 1 pick. The Browns probably going to select Josh Allen with the number 1 pick. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Browns going Browns.
Sounds like the Browns.
Oh, God.
I don't even think he should be drafted in the 2nd round.
If they... Oh man,
he's okay. He's got the measurements. Great. He's got a big arm.
Yeah, you could throw the ball a mile.
He was very inaccurate in college, and in college, when it is way easier to complete a pass than it is in the NFL.
And he was playing at Wyoming.
Yeah, I think it's
those weren't even high-end Division I schools he was playing against.
I think it was like the top 50 college quarterbacks last year all had a completion percentage of at least 60, and none of them were named Josh Allen. I think he had like 56%. If you can't be accurate in college, you're not going to be accurate.
It would be interesting to see. I obviously haven't watched the film besides I can throw 80 yards on my knees, but
you can't teach accuracy.
No, but how much of that? The argument I've been hearing is a lot of, well, you have bad receivers and offense, but how much of that percentage can be the fault of other people? At a certain point, that percentage is his percentage, too, you know? I mean,
that's a very low percentage. What, does everyone drop
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Were all of the offensive linemen horrible and all of his wide receivers never caught anything? Because otherwise there's part of it that's his fault. And that's part of being an NFL quarterback is it's your fault if you can't fit it into those windows.
You have to be good. You have to be accurate. It's like the main thing.
The main thing. It is the only because you can get away with not having the other things. You can't get away with not being accurate.
Strong arm. You don't need a cannon.
Yes.
But if you're accurate and you stay healthy, you got a pretty good career ahead of you.
I could not agree more.
But is anyone surprised that the Browns might take Josh Allen? But it also said they'd probably take Saquon Barkley with the 4th pick if he's still available, which I don't know if he would be because the Giants might take him.
Interesting. And then the Giants would wait on a quarterback until... See, from the Giants are interesting because the goal is to not.
They could get Lamar Jackson in like the 2nd round, probably.
Oh yeah, good call. I was thinking, the top 4, dudes.
They said 6 quarterbacks could go in the 1st round, but that means that there's at least 6 quarterbacks that are capable of being selected in the 1st round.
Man, that would be cool. I want the Vikings to draft Lamar Jackson because I think he's amazing. Yeah, but it would be cool. No, it's not going to happen. But it would be cool if he got drafted by New York.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting landing spot for him.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Well, all right. What else do you got? I think,
that's good.
Went for good stretch on a not big, not big news day. But I'll tell you what, that punter stuff, got crazy. For me at my house when I was screaming by myself.
Yeah.
Into Twitter.
So much yelling.
God, just no love for Quigley, man.
Remind me of
love.
Remind me of I thought I was on Facebook for a minute there.
With the caps, the screaming caps lock. I just felt like I had to make my voice heard.
Whatever, you gotta do that sometimes.
That's right.
Sometimes you gotta pound the table.
That's
for your guy.
Sometimes hashtags aren't enough,
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Quigley. Shout out Ryan Quigley. Come on, man. Defending
Latavius Murray is going overseas this week to hang out with the troops over there. Hopefully he can teach them, how to do the skull chant. For them.
International. Make it international. Well, I guess we kind of stole it from the Icelandic.
Germany and Italy, I think. So. Cool dude. Doing good stuff like that.
Can't go wrong. That's the USO stuff.
Good to end up.
Good stuff. Skull Buds. Good time.
All right.
See you later.